Because I feel like over the last year or so, I've kind of lost myself because I've been supporting other people.
Yeah.
And I no longer do the job that I was doing for many years. And I now kind of are trying to find a way to find myself again.
Welcome to The Way of the Muse, a podcast for women who want to create richness in every area of their lives, from business and career to lifestyle, relationships, family, purpose, and fulfillment. I'm Gigi Sage.
And I'm Makena Sage. We're a mother-daughter coaching team, and combined, we've spent over 4 decades helping people create their best and most fully expressed lives. If you're ready to step into your bigger dreams with ease, fun, and flow, you're in the right place. Let's get into the episode.
All right.
Welcome, everyone. Go
Hi.
ahead, Gigi.
Yeah,
Nice to
welcome
meet you
everyone.
both.
We're excited to be here and to do another live coaching. So just sit back and enjoy, right, McKenna?
And I will say with these live coachings, if you're listening on audio only, great. That's a fabulous way to listen. And we will often say things like where we see someone light up. And so that's great. But if you have an interest in really watching what we're doing there, you may want to check out the podcast on YouTube. It is available there under Way of the Muse. So let's dive in.
Yeah. All right. So share with me. You were sharing a little bit about where you've been, what's going on in your life. Yeah. So we can have context.
So from a career point of view, my career has always been in the corporate world, so working for PLCs as sales and marketing manager. And then my life kind of took, so I'm 54, my life took a shift a couple of years ago when my daughter had given birth to her son and he was 4 months old, and she became very seriously ill and was in hospital for quite a long time. So I ended up leaving my job to support Megan and help my son-in-law look after the little baby. So things kind of really shifted. And I had just commenced studying to become a nutrition coach at the time. So since then I've continued to do my nutrition coach studying, and I have now qualified. So I'm currently working part-time doing marketing for a company, and also help look after my grandson who's now coming up to 2, and my daughter is back to health, which is brilliant. And my son and daughter-in-law, who lost a baby late in pregnancy, have recently had a little boy. So I'm kind of spending a lot of time involved with them because they have now gone into a very happy journey, which is lovely. What I'm sort of struggling with is now I've qualified, and it sounds really bizarre that I trained to be a coach and I kind of know all the tools, is really where to kind of really get my confidence back and my motivation to try and press forward to take my business. Because I feel like over the last year or so, I've kind of lost myself because I've been supporting other people.
Yeah.
And I no longer do the job that I was doing for many years. And I now kind of are trying to find a way to find myself again. And I have really thought long and hard about coaching and why I began training to be a coach. It's something that I would really love to do. It's in nutrition, and I feel it's a really important thing to get the message out there about good nutrition and how it really supports our health and our lifestyle. So I just really looking for some guidance or some support as to how I can kind of get my confidence back and motivation to really try and push my business forward now, to sort of find time for myself.
Yeah. And that's a lot. You've been through a lot. Yeah, a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I think to be patient with yourself and kind with yourself too. So when I see definitely there's a lot of curiosity with your business, and I'll just say kind of talking about the experiences you've been having in your life. Often when we, a life is this up and down cycle. And when we go into something where there is, especially with our families, it's a very close and intimate thing there when there are challenges. Now that you're having a little space, what's so important is you've got to see what enlivens you. So, if you listen to our podcast, we talk a lot about aliveness, right?
Yeah.
And so, first of all, I would say the confidence in your business, one way it will come is by you doing some things for you for a while.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Because you've been giving, and the batteries then they get depleted, and then it's very hard to see. It's hard to see what you want or how you want it. And like you said, you kind of went out of your corporate job, you went into a completely different life in terms of helping people. And in that kind of lost yourself in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So to find yourself again, you have to do some things that you love. So what do you love doing? What energizes you?
So I'm a trained yoga teacher,
Okay.
and I absolutely love yoga, but I found that kind of fell to one side. So that is something that I have recently kind of picked up for my self practice.
Okay.
And I do really love that. I just putting the mat out and just sitting on the mat makes me feel in this cocoon where it's just me and my mat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is something that I have been really trying to focus on. So I love that. I love that. That makes me feel happy.
Yes.
I love being out in nature as well. So I live in a beautiful area in a county called Surrey, which is not far from London. It's very green and beautiful. So I really like being out in nature. And I also really love helping people.
Yeah.
So sort of in my past, even when I was working full time, I did a number of years where I was volunteer community first responder. So I would go out on our 999 calls, maybe
Okay.
the 911 for you,
And 911.
to addresses within the local area where I
Wow.
live, to get there before the paramedics did, to offer support. And I love that feeling of helping people and reassuring people. So yeah, so whilst I probably, apart from my family, don't feel I'm particularly doing that at the minute, that's something that does make me light up, if you like. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So do you have community? Do you have a good community? Community? Do you have a community of friends?
Yes, I do, yeah. So I
Mhm.
have I have sort of lots of nice friends of various ages.
Okay.
Um,
And do
various
you do
seasons.
things with your friends? Do you do things with your
Yes, I
friends?
do, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah,
A lot of light there.
we
Yeah.
often and meet up, and
Okay.
I'm married, and Simon and I are very, very close. We sort of spend a lot of time with each other
Okay.
and our friends.
What do you see, McKenna?
Yeah, I saw a lot of light with yoga,
I
a
do
lot of
too.
light with also with being outside, and especially also with your friends, with getting out with people. It's
Getting,
not that I didn't see light with the helping people. Maybe there was a little more emotion there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's just a different quality.
Yeah.
And I think too, maybe there's a new way of helping people, which is also through your business.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've started the yoga again, you said? You started it?
So I've started my self practice again on a
Okay.
regular basis. So yeah, I mean, maybe something that I would consider is sort of getting back into running classes and actually teaching yoga.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just at the minute I feel quite happy just getting back into my practice and
Yeah.
sort of nurturing myself through yoga at the moment rather than running yoga classes.
Yeah. Yeah. The nurturing of yourself is really important. That, like you said, so nurturing is you want to really think about what makes you unwind and then fills you with energy,
Yeah.
And I have a feeling, like me, when I work with people, I get a lot of energy. right? And I think you're going to be the same as you build your practice very much. But again, it's so, so important because of your style that you give, that you
Yeah.
find ways that the priority really needs to be about nurturing you first. So it
Okay.
needs to shift from nurturing everyone else to nurturing you first. Because
Yeah.
in that, when you nurture yourself, you're going to have so much more energy and clarity and vision on how to be in service to other people. Get that?
Yeah, I do. And I feel, I think because of the situation, I kind of threw myself into supporting my daughter and my son and their families.
Mhm.
And then it kind of continues and continues, and then you don't set boundaries.
Right.
And
Yeah.
before you know it, for the other people, it becomes a norm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
And um, you maybe feel undervalued, not purposely, I don't believe, but
Hmm.
you feel as if they don't necessarily value your time and consider what you would like to be
Hmm.
spending all your time doing, which is not always
Yeah. You know,
being.
do you have the saying, familiarity breeds contempt? Do you have that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
And it's a
Yeah.
little bit true,
It
like you
is. Yeah.
said. Yeah, unless you set some boundaries and clear. And so that's too, I think, to go to your families because you've been so supportive and just say, I love you so much. And I really feel that I need, 90 days or 6 months that I really focus on myself for a while.
Yeah.
I can maybe do this a little bit here, this a little bit here, but I need this time so I can kind of rebuild my batteries and everything.
And I would really see in that conversation is first to get clear on what would feel good for you there if you do want to continue supporting,
Yeah.
is really go in and go, you know what, it would feel really good for me to help out one day a week or to do
Yeah.
this. So you go in there, like Gigi said, first just sharing how much you've enjoyed supporting them and love them, and then saying, to really, I'd love to take this time, really focus on me for a little while. Here's how I'd love to continue supporting
Mm.
you and the kids and being with my grandbabies. And, how does that sound to you?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's really nice actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I hadn't thought actually when you said there about, you know, perhaps saying I would like to spend, 3 months or 6 months just working on me.
Yeah.
It's actually really nice because it doesn't feel like you're saying I'm not going to be there so much
Right.
forever. It's
Yeah.
just while just have to spend this time to kind of rebuild
Yeah.
my confidence.
It's extremely important, and especially because you are starting a new business. You're
Yes.
going to need, the emotional. We love our families and I love my kids, but the emotional as a mother if you have two children,
I've
two,
actually got three. I've got another son, but
okay.
he's
The
been
then
he's been
you
fine.
feel a little pulled by if you get so involved in their life, you also feel everything about their life. And sometimes it's good to actually be outside of it
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
you can
I
even be
agree.
more helpful. You see that you can
Yes.
actually be like, in their present in terms of a guide, for them. Yeah.
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 No, I agree. I think as well with mobile phones and WhatsApp videos, it can sometimes feel like you're every part of their life.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, if I'm very close, me and my husband are very close to all the children, and which is lovely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that space. You don't need to know everything that's gone on in their day every single day.
Yeah. And if you bring it to them with a clear, like, if there is still a way you'd like to be involved or help out so much too, then if you tell that to them, like you said, first you frame it in taking this time for you, which they're going to want that for you,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then you share, this is how I'd like to still be involved. Then they don't feel like, oh, they did something wrong or
Right.
whatever. It gives them a
Mm.
really clear way to go, of course, like
Yeah.
we'd love that for you. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So that's first. And then the next piece with your business is once you claim that, I think, and start, and if yoga is your lifeline right now in terms of nurturing them, really immerse yourself there. And then start to see working on your business, if you're going to do that 3 days a week, or you have to see how often are you going to do it.
Yeah.
And Then you look and see what are the things that you're going to do to take action. And then you make that a fun experience for you. And, we have something called the self-doubt switch that McKenna will send to you, and you can do it. And it's a wonderful PDF that you go through and you read the story of how I really helped McKenna with this when she was
Okay.
feeling insecure and feeling like, I
Do
don't
I
know,
have value to offer?
you have value to offer,
Yeah.
Is this going to work?
right, right, right.
Yeah.
And I talked with her, and then she has that written all out, and then she has a beautiful meditation that you can listen to start to really shift the way you feel there.
And for
Okay.
those of you listening in, we will provide that as a resource in the show notes. So if you are curious about doing this yourself, you
Yeah.
can go to the show
Yeah.
notes as well.
Yeah. But tell us about your business. I looked at your website. It's beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So
Very.
yeah, so I kind of aim to do it sort of predominantly online.
Mhm.
I think that's one good thing that's come out of the pandemic is that people
Right.
can do this type of thing now, it probably wasn't thought of much before. Um, but then obviously sort of local. Um, and I think this is one other aspect I need to think about my business. So and sometimes I get quite confusing messages when you sort of read up about how to start a business, whether you hone in on a specific sort
Niche.
of niche.
Mhm.
Um, but ideally, I want to sort of work with people who are suffering with kind of chronic long-term illnesses, which could be really helped if they looked at their nutrition and their
Mhm.
lifestyle. Um, and that's with my daughter, but bizarrely became very, very sick through she developed a gallstone when she was pregnant, and they didn't pick it up, and it moved and it blocked the duct from her pancreas, and she ended up with pancreatitis, which I knew nothing about the pancreas before she got
Yeah.
sick, and I had no idea it could make people so dangerously sick,
Mhm.
um, and life threatening. And so things to try and support people who are then living with maybe long-term sort of chronic issues, and
Mhm.
supporting them in the way that I now support my daughter so she can keep her pancreas as what she has left as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my real aim, is to find those people,
Mhm.
um, of which I feel that there are many. I think with the Western diet that we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
and the chronic sort of problem with
Mhm.
obesity, I think there's so many people living with chronic illnesses that
Yeah.
are making their life pretty miserable.
Mhm.
So to try and support those types of people is
Yeah.
really what my kind of passion is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's such a value if you think about it. You have to look at, and this is what in the self-doubt switch you'll see is that when people go, "Oh, do I have anything to share?" You have to shift it to, "Oh my gosh, this is not about me. It's about what I have to share." And if
Yeah,
you bring one thing to someone and they make a shift in their life, it makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Yeah,
yeah,
little things go so far, and especially when it comes to, I think, nutrition, health. Yeah. And a lot of times it's not a matter of taking things out. I would say it's more of adding things in. How can people start to add more healthy things in?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
So
absolutely.
how are you marketing your business or getting it out there? What are you doing?
So at the minute, and this is another thing that I'm kind of stuck with. So um I've spent time designing my website. So I kind of did it all.
Okay.
So I've done that. Um I've got an Instagram account, I've made a Facebook account. Um and I'm now potentially looking to sign up to a sort of business coach that supports coaches
Mhm.
with their kind of marketing, because that's one thing that I've been really stuck at. I think
Yeah.
I've qualified and I really love the course. I really enjoyed it, and I did lots of case studies that I was obviously marked on, and I enjoyed all that. And then I qualified and then was sort of left, will anyone want to listen to me bit
Yeah.
like you were saying before. And then also how, from a kind of digital marketing, I guess, point of view, that's not really my background. So I've been trying to sort of teach myself how to do that, but I've kind of got to the point where I think I need a bit more support because it's taken me such a long time to learn how to do digital marketing. Basically, it's very time consuming trying to teach yourself things. So
Yeah, I'm curious, with the business side, when you talked and you shared your story just now. So the main thing to know about business when you go into start to build your business, and this is something I think many people stepping into coaching and sometimes into other types of entrepreneurship as well, don't realize there's the side of whatever it is you do, if that's coaching or you have a product or a service, and then there's the business side, like you're talking about, and they are two different things. And so in that, I love that you're leaning in to really go, okay, how do I have this coaching skill set? How do I learn this business skill set? What happens most of the time when people hit that point is there's so many different ways you can build a business. And so I don't know if you're sitting there, but for many people, it's overwhelming. They go, wait a second, is it this thing or this thing? Should I be focused on Instagram, or should I be over here doing this, or should I be out speaking? And so the important thing there, because again, all of our work ties back to aliveness. And this is when I stepped out of my work in online marketing for all those years and really wanted to step into coaching. At first, I developed a business program. And that was because I saw so many people in the online marketing space, coaches, speakers, authors, they would come to me and they would say, like, I think I should do, at that time, it was like video series. I think I should have a video series. And I would say, great. Well, do you, is that something you're curious about? Are you, even if you're scared, like, do you, have a curiosity about being on video? Oh, no, not at all. And I would say, well, that's interesting. Why do you think, you should do a video series? Well, because everybody else is doing it. And so my passion when I stepped into the coaching in the first place and started on the business side was to integrate the aliveness piece and the alignment piece of Gigi's method and what I grew up with, and she's mentored me in, with the strategy piece. And so why I share all that is because there is no one size fits all. You have to really look and see, where is your curiosity? Are you really strongly interested in growing online? Okay, if so, is there a certain platform or a certain direction that you have a strong pull to that you're interested in, or you really think that's the direction? I will say that when you shared your story about your daughter, that's a powerful story.
Yeah.
okay.
And I immediately saw you either speaking on podcasts, like being interviewed on podcasts, speaking in front of live groups, or you could find ways to do that more online, share your story through video content or whatever it might be. But those were the two things that popped into my mind first. And I'm just curious if you kind of tune into the different directions, let's say being interviewed on podcasts, let's say speaking in front of maybe some small live groups, or going more like the Instagram route or something like that. Is there something immediately that feels like, ooh, even if it's scary, it has energy for you?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think actually speaking to people, I mean, that's one other avenue that I've thought about is trying to get out there and find places where I can speak to audiences about things that I've experienced, not just my daughter, my own kind of health as well, which is I've massively helped through my own nutrition, the things that I learned while I was studying. But I think, yeah, that kind of excites me. What doesn't excite me is making loads of posts for Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not a designer, so but I can talk, and I think I have a story to tell, and I think I've learned lots of things about nutrition that I can relay to people who want to hear it. So yeah, probably going down those sort of avenues.
I see that very strongly for you. When you shared your story, I saw you again speaking in front of an audience, and or maybe also being interviewed on podcasts. So that clears so much up, because what I see people do otherwise is they go out and they go, well, everybody's online marketing, right? I need to be going and doing, and there's stages in business too. But when you're at the very beginning stage, you want to pick one or two marketing avenues and really dive into those. And a lot of times they can be offline or largely offline for people, right? It can be through your warm network. It can be through speaking or hosting small live events or something like that. So that is what I would really consider leaning into as a starting point.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you like videos, instead of creating posts, you could do, all your posts could be videos, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could just, get one header done, a nice, maybe two options, and you can farm that out to Fiverr or what, get somebody on Fiverr or one of those platforms. And then you just do a video or in your kitchen, even showing people things. Like McKenna's saying, you go to what's fun for you.
Yeah.
What brings you alive?
And I would really think about your social media then, like Gigi's saying, what would be easy and fun for you? And then think about it less of a place like, how do I get clients through social media? Because it doesn't sound like that's where the energy is right now. Instead, think, I'm going to be going out and speaking. I think through probably maybe hospitals even, or different, avenues. You probably know a lot of where you could get in front of these kinds of people from your own experiences. And you develop a speech or a little workshop, and it could be interactive if you want. And then there's a way that you make an invitation at the end for people to maybe have a free call with you. So there's a whole strategy around that side of things and how you can bring people in. But then you think about your social media more as, okay, I'm going to be out speaking. And what if people go look me up online? You have a beautiful website already. What if they look me up on social media? I'd love to have some things there for them to be able to dive deeper with me, learn a little bit, maybe get to know more of my story or different, whatever it is that you think. If I, like when you were going through this with your daughter, if you had met someone, they had given a speech, and then you had gone and looked them up on social media, what would you have loved to see? And that's what you create. To get to know that person, to build trust with them, to be curious about coming in and working with them. That's all you have to think about. So there's no needing it to be some certain strategy there.
No. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It does. It makes perfect sense. And just hearing you say that makes me suddenly feel excited to go away and do something like that.
Yeah.
You light up a lot.
It's amazing when sometimes you feel so bogged down, you don't know which way to go. You almost get in a panic, and then you don't do anything,
right?
Because you're panicking and your brain's full of all these ideas and you don't know what to try first. So that's really great that I've been able to kind of express that, and you've given me that advice. That's really good. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm sure we can clip out this coaching too and share it with you as well. Yeah. So, and then keep it simple. Start, like McKenna said, one or two things and just keep it consistent, because that's what you want to do. Because over time, again, if it's where you're strong and where you have curiosity and you feel alive, it's going to be so much fun for you, and that's going to attract. Yeah. So, and I'm a game person. You can ask all the women in my mastermind and everything. I'm always creating games, and my games are always like 90-day games. So you say, I'm really going to do this for the next 90 days. I'm whatever you choose. And in that, you'll feel so much stronger, prouder. You'll start to attract by doing that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
That
lovely.
helpful?
Thank you. Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Any other questions or comments or?
I don't think so. I think that's really, I kind of feel like you've unlocked something and given me, just some motivation to go and like you say, I can see now that I just need to focus on things that make me feel alive and make me feel excited to talk about and do, rather than maybe comparing myself to other people online and thinking I
Right.
should be doing that, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it aligns with my values, but should I be doing it anyway, and then not. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's been really helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being so open and receptive too. Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
always love to ask at the end of a session, what are you taking away? What's clearer now, or what have you gotten today?
So I'm going to have a conversation with my family
Mhm.
and set some clear boundaries,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that will hugely help me, because I think it will take away that, I guess, like underlying resentment that's been
Mhm.
making me feel
Yeah,
quite
sure.
angry and frustrated. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to write a plan of places that I can go to speak to people. And also I'm going to try and do some videos just to
Mhm.
talk about my story, really. I think that's probably the best place to start,
Yeah.
and put it out there. So I think, yeah, there's some really good things for me to go away and do.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And
Nice.
remember, yoga, taking care
And
of
my
you,
yoga, yeah. So
nurturing you.
I'm going to continue with my yoga. And I think at the moment, every day I need to get on my mat, even if it's just for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
just to give me that space. Um, yeah, it's like a magic mat. You stand on it and it makes you feel nice, which is
Yeah,
lovely.
nice.
And I would really, there's two quick last things. When you talk about, I can see you sitting on your mat. It's very like I have a
Yeah.
visual of it because of the way you describe it, and it's such a beautiful visual. And what it brings to mind for me is that you are your own case study. As you are going out to start to support these people, the journey you've just been on and that you continue to be on in terms of being someone also supporting people going through this, but also for the people who are going through it, is like right now, the way you nurture yourself is like you're doing it for you, but you're also doing it for this bigger reason of you're about to go really start coaching and supporting people, and they're very much going to need to be nurturing and caring for themselves. So it's one of the beautiful things about being a coach is that you get to anything that you are going through and experiencing, you get to sort of do it for you and for this bigger reason and have this broader perspective of, and sort of even pay attention to, like, as I'm going through this, what am I struggling with? What's really working for me? Have that kind of awareness as you're going through it. The other thing I wanted to say is the word boundaries. I would
Yeah.
maybe see if there's a different word that fits, because often the word boundaries, when we think about that, and people use that word a lot, is it think that boundary is something between that keeps something out, right?
Yeah.
But instead it might be maybe it's parameters for how you and your family are interacting, or you're there with your grandkids or whatever you want to call it. You can see what word fits for you,
Or
but you
could
may
be,
just want to play with what would be a different word. Yeah, go ahead,
yeah.
Gigi.
Or rituals, or, that's what I was going to say. Do you want to, when you go to them, come from a place of gratitude? Not that you're setting some, like I said, if you express, I so appreciate the opportunity that I've had to be so close with your families and be here and help. And I just am really feeling I want to take some time for myself and get strong again. And here's the way, like McKenna said, I'd love to on Wednesday nights take the kids, you guys do date night or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
put structure to it. And in that, it becomes like a ritual in your family. You
Yeah.
see? Yeah. And then you set it up, because McKenna's so right on. You hear with boundaries, I hear people say that, and there's something underneath that a lot of times that's a little bit negative. It feels,
Yeah.
it feels a little negative. So you want to go into it as being clear about what you want, sharing what you want, and then also being grateful and acknowledging. Yeah. Yeah.
Like Gigi said, it's creating your family, maybe rhythm
Yeah.
and rituals.
Yeah, rhythm.
How are you as a family? What's the rhythm? What are the rituals you have together? And that's such a beautiful, feel the energy of that versus I need to put boundaries in place.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Right?
does.
Such a different
You can
energy.
feel different energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
we
that
can
sounds
close
so
on
much
that.
nicer and so much more fitting for me and my family, because we are all very close and love each other a lot. So
I see that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. All
Well,
right. Well,
thank
thank
you
you so
again.
much for giving
Oh,
us this
thank you both.
opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Good luck to
everyone.
you, and write us and let us know how it's going.
Yes, I will,
Okay.
definitely.
And just to say, if you are listening or watching and you're curious about doing an on-air coaching session in the future, you can go to wayofthemuse.com/on-air and you can apply there. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode and you're curious about diving deeper, you will love The Collective, our monthly membership program. Think of this as the group of girlfriends you always wish you had, plus the coaching and support to step into the woman you're meant to be and the life and success you've been dreaming of. It includes powerful courses, live connection and coaching calls, and a community of like-minded women around the world, plus lots of other incredible bonuses. Every 8 to 10 weeks, we begin a new season focused on a topic like self-love, stepping into your bigger purpose, breaking through fear and self-doubt, or growing your success with more ease and flow. You can join the monthly membership for just $197 or sign up for the year and get an all-access course pass and enjoy huge savings on your annual membership. Learn more at wayofthemuse.com/collective. That's our episode for today, but let's not make it the end of our love story. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and think of some women in your life you'd love to share it with. And if you want to learn more about our events and programs, visit wayofthemuse.com. See you next time.